The Courage to Learn from Failure is based on an article by the Harvard Business Review. And in it, we learned that there are three types of failures: the routine that can be prevented, the complex that represent failures that can be managed, and the frontier, those we can learn from. Let's explore each. Routine failures, those that can be prevented, represent limits of people and their knowledge. This can be willful deviance, like somebody drilling a hole in the boat, or it can be inattention, being asleep at the wheel, or it can just be a lack of ability, those weekend people who buy the fancy boat but never leave the dock. In this case, our response strategy is to detect these situations so that we can prevent these types of failures. But sometimes the failures are more about the processes. These are failures that can be managed. These include when the processes themselves are inadequate, such as being up the creek without a paddle, or the challenge is just simply ridiculous, going around the world in 80 days without airplanes, or complexity, as memorialized by Rube Goldberg. So sometimes it's not the people that are the problem, it's the processes that we're using. Often in schools, the processes can get in our way. It's not only the people. So there we want to analyze the processes we have and see where improvements can be made. But the frontier ones are ones we really need to pay attention to. These are intelligent failures because they test the boundaries of our knowledge. So uncertainty, knowing whether we can see or whether that foghorn is going to allow us to know that the rocks are present, these are limits of our knowledge. Sometimes what we know has limits too, so we test these hypotheses, like this model boat here. And we have exploratory testing. When all is said and done, we still need that shakedown cruise to find out if things operate the way we think, and adjust our thinking if things do not. So our response strategy here is to experiment. It's important to know which types of failures you're dealing with, which ones you can benefit from, and which ones you just simply need to prevent. Thanks a lot.